Hello, and welcome back to Banished and the city of Revingham. Are we a city yet? I don't know. We're getting there, though. We are definitely getting there. We've got a lot more stuff built, even if we don't have too many more people. We're right on schedule, more or less, with the number of people. The only thing that happened, a little bit of time played forward. I think a person died, and then we had some students and babies being born. I was a little bit concerned that we don't have too many babies, but we made a couple before this house was even built, and then we had some people move in. Haley, I don't know, and Nathari moved in together and had a child right away. Good job, guys. That's exactly what we wanted. So, in any event, I fast forwarded time until we had, well, somewhere up here, a trader is on his way, or her way. So there we go. So we will do some things before the trader gets here. Let's just go over a little bit of a status update, some things I might not have mentioned in a little while. Our sheep are doing quite well. We've got 13 sheep a couple episodes ago, or, well, the beginning of the last episode, I think, or in between those episodes, I had split the sheep. So now we have a total of 25 sheep. So this pasture is obviously smaller than the other one. I don't know quite why, but in any event, we will have 45 sheep when all is said and done. And the more important thing is that we have them split in two pastures. So if there becomes a disease in one of them, we don't have to worry. We are ready for another type of animal if we can buy a couple. We definitely will try to do that. Maybe even 4 is a nice number to get started. We should have enough money. Let's see what this guy has. And now we also know that we have a tavern built, so we know we can get some of these things to get alcohol, to hopefully get people even happier. Yeah, I didn't mean to click on the market, but there's the market doing well. So one thing before this trader gets here that I would like to do, we are making warm coats, and we are at the limit. So I'm thinking that maybe what we should do, because we are getting more population, and I like to keep coats and tools in line with the total population there. And not that you really need to, but yeah, we're up to a point anyway. Whoa, not 140. Let's try 60. There we go. So the close limit will now be 60. And then I was also thinking, why don't we take the firewood limit up? And that I think I want to take up significantly, just because, why not? Though we don't have a ton of wood at this point, but let's just see what happens. We're not building anything too quickly, and I would like to get some things done, but again, I'm sort of letting the population build up before we do too much. Let's zoom in. Here comes our trader. It looks like a guy. He's hardly dressed for the winter time, but I guess that happens with games. Let's pause the time for a second, just so we can think about this. Okay, hope for something good. Sheep. Boo. Now, we could come up here and say that we want cattle. Yeah, I think I'm willing to do that. Now, the only problem is that I don't know what happens if we don't buy the cattle from them. But hopefully they'll bring a couple cattle, because I would like to get into the cattle business. It's nice. It's a better source of leather in the long run and meat than I think depending on the hunters is. Not that the hunters are bad, but as we get bigger and bigger, it will be nice to get into the cattle business where we can get leather and meat from the cattle. Yeah, so let's go ahead and purchase that. We'll take our chances. Good. All right. So let's just go over here real quick and think just while we're in here. You know what? We can play time. And let's go ahead and dismiss this guy so that we don't hold up the trader. Now, I know some people build many traders, and I think that increases the chances of your traders, of you getting more. So we should consider that at some point, though. We've got a lot of other things to build and not too many extra people to build them with. Let's just make sure that we have enough inventory. Yeah, this should be, right, just the firewood alone should be like 4,800. Now, the last time we sold a lot of hide coats, when our coats get up higher, maybe we could consider selling the warm coats. One thing I'm really wanting is this Townhall. Like I know that it's not the most beneficial building in the sense of you know, it's not going to really do anything for us, but it lets me look at my inventory of things and balance things a lot better without having to click on each of the storages and try to kind of figure out what we have. You know, this information, is that a lot of wool or is that a lot of coats? And the only way I'm sorry, is that a lot of leather? So we have 28 leather here. You know, how much wool do we have? We would expect a fair amount of it. Well, we don't have the storage area here that we want to get built. But let's see. If we come here, there should be at least some wool in here. There's none. Yeah, so I'm not seeing a lot of wool. How much wool are we producing? Well, 42 should be. We should have a good amount of wool someplace. And they both did 42. I guess that's a coincidence. Do we have wool here? Yeah, where are we putting the wool? Or are we saying we have no wool? Oh, maybe we don't have wool in here. Huh. Yeah, I don't see where we have wool. It's in alphabetical order, so it would be near warm coats. All right, we'll see. Maybe this guy will run out of materials here, or go. And that's my point. Like, we could get a count of exactly how much wool we have if we had the town hall go. But the town hall is awful expensive. And I think we're hurting ourselves on this, but I think what we could do in anticipation, one of the reasons I did that with such confidence is let's harvest some trees. And while I like to let forests kind of grow back, I don't think there's any reason we can't come in here and get rid of some of the trees where we think we're going to build stuff. Right, that'll just get us an extra shot of wood. And we're really, unfortunately, getting kind of close to the point where we're going to want to start firing up those quarries before these guys go too far. I mentioned that in the last episode, but we'll get some more people doing a little bit more of this stone before it gets just too far away. I don't know why I didn't pick those rocks when I did the rest in the area. We got a good amount of stone, but I want to build this town hall, even though it's kind of wasteful. Matter of fact, do we just want to set this to... Yeah, well, we don't have enough wood. Yeah, let's hold off a minute till we get a little bit more of a wood buildup, which may be a bit of a problem because of the increase in the firewood that we just did. But even almost more important, we probably want to get a couple houses over in this area. And I'm thinking that this will, you know, it's a pretty good forester's lodge, and I'm thinking that it might always stay forester. So I think it would be worth building, you know, let's do, before we do that, let's put a road. Why are you red? Oh, you got a hill right here. Okay, well that messes up my normal thought on houses. Not too much, but so we don't really need a road in between here. Can't get out the other end anyway. So let's just build a road like there, and then we'll build 2 houses. That shouldn't mess up our productivity too much. And let's pause one of the 2, and then we'll put this over here, and hopefully we'll get that built. It's a little bit expensive, but again, we just selected a lot more stone to be built. We've got a good amount of iron. And again, I'm just sort of avoiding using the quarry until we have extra people. Now, we have enough builders. Laborers are good to have. They make everybody else more efficient. Our food is doing pretty well. You know, we should be getting more coats. Yep, 51. They're not complaining about being out of stuff, but darned if I know where the wool is. It's got to be... Yeah, we also need to get these storages built for efficiency's sake. So we're going to do that, hopefully, by the end of the episode. This storage and this storage. I definitely want to get those 2 built, along with our town hall. If I can get all that done in this episode, along with whatever surprises that we may or may not incur or come across, we'll see. So, good. Yeah, we definitely want to get more houses built too, because we have enough food productivity Like, I don't think these have they even produced food yet? No, so they haven't even produced any walnuts. No yield. So it takes them a couple seasons to get the trees planted, which is fairly realistic. And if we wanted to, if we don't get seeds in the next cargo wagon, we can talk about, you know, getting seeds over to here and maybe even just planting some more cabbages. We have this fishery is just completely turned off, so we could send some more people up to there. Yeah, we get our other mine built up there. Well, we probably could pick a better place for our next mine. Well, we have our blacksmith right here. Could we get it? Let's just do a little planning. Since I'm distracted, can we get another? Yeah, see, it's not quite like in that spot. By 1 dot or 2 dots. I think I can get it down. Say 1 dot, I can't build that. That's a shame. And I can't get it right here. No. How about over here? No. Can I get one up here? No. Yeah, so I guess we just literally, I don't know, can you guys see that? Let me zoom in for a second. I think I could get it. Oh, can I get one? No, see that? Just, boy, that's close. That 1 dot right there is the reason I can't build another one. That would have been a nice place to put one. Yeah, so I think I'd have to come over to here. And I don't really want to mess with our thing too much. So maybe that is a good place for it. That'll be kind of far away for people with where we have housing. Oops. And let's see, see, we don't want to put our houses too far outside of the zone of the market. Though there's nothing wrong. I mean, you have the balancing out of them going very far to go to work. And it is a mine, so it would take quite a few people going to the mine, so it's kind of good. Now, how about over here? You know what? This wouldn't be a bad place for a mine either, would it? Can we put one in? Now, even if I had... So that still wouldn't quite work right there. How about come over here? Oh, look at that. Well, that guy would fit right in there, wouldn't he? We'll pause that for a second. I'm not yeah, that would definitely be better and closer than this one over here. Yeah, I kind of like that. So maybe we'll go for that at some point. But we're not even, you know, with the number of people that we have, we're really kind of falling behind my 1/3 theory a little bit. Like we're down to, we need to get more children. So that's why, how are we doing on building this house? Why are we not building this house any quicker? Is there any particular reason? We have 5 laborers now. They should be getting over there. Maybe they're off gathering stones. That's a problem when you assign too much stuff. But yeah, and we do have enough of things. They could be out here. Yeah, it looks like they cleared out a lot of that forest. So yeah, you know what? While we're doing that, why don't we? I don't want to get too many things assigned because then they get nothing done quickly. But yeah, let's start doing the town hall as well, which I think will actually take priority over that house because I assigned the construction of this first. If that makes sense. There we go. So we've got a couple houses over here. I don't know if that's going to be enough people, but we only have 1, person working there, another one there, and 2 there. So yeah, that should be plenty of housing for right there. And you know, we could have another house here, but this just gives us, I don't know, somebody in this area to do stuff and things, maybe labor. We have these houses. And then at some point we should definitely consider upgrading our houses to stone, just for the efficiency of the firewood. But I sort of want to do that when we start getting to the point we can afford to have laborers in our stone quarry. And once we have the other basics done, because at this point, do we have everything? Yeah, we have a hospital plan, though we could certainly get that built. And we already have a town hall plan. We're going to plan on another chapel. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Why don't we put the chapel... Where would we not interfere? We already have, like... Would the chapel... No, it wouldn't fit. Oh, wait, maybe it would. Let's see, would that chapel fit right there? No, but it would probably fit... See, I'd like to put houses, like, in this area, in a sense. Like, we might even move this road a little bit. But I like to put the houses in this area, so maybe the... Well, I guess we could put the chapel... Yeah, it's a shame. It's just off by 1 to put it right there. If we put... I don't want to put it here because I'm picturing a row of fields. But to be honest, we're kind of getting into these houses, aren't we? And if you haven't noticed, I'm not the most 100%... That's a hospital. I don't want a hospital. I want a chapel. Maybe... Oh, no. Chapel's worse. Yeah, no way a chapel's fitting there. Yeah, and this is definitely far future planning. Yeah, so that's worse for sticking into that area. I think what we may do... Yeah, let me see something here with our road. Yeah, see that road is right up against here. I usually like to have another road come out this way. Yeah, so when we need it, again, I did the hospital thing. And, well, school, I don't think we necessarily need another school down here. Let's just pause that and close it. But that will be a future plan for a chapel that could... do I like where that's at? Yeah, we're not going to... There's a hill right here, so we're not going to be able to build fields there. That sort of fits right in. Matter of fact, can we get a road past here? Yes. Good. So if we wanted to put another road around this thing for some reason, we could. Yeah, that's probably tucked out of the way enough. I don't know how much the efficiency of... I mean, do they actually go to the church? I imagine they do, but I'm not sure if it's... You know, just more important that you have enough churches for everybody to be a member of the church. Still no walnuts. I'm not a big walnut fan. Yeah, see, they're prioritizing... They stopped building that house, which is... I don't know, not ideal, but it shouldn't... We have plenty of laborers to carry stuff over there. So hopefully they will... get that town hall built, and then we can get back to building houses. We don't want to run out of people too much. So how are we doing? Do we have a trader on the way? I'm sitting there, and I pause the video. Many times I just sit right over here, and let's see if I move it right like that, I can see the trader coming, and that's when I restart the video. It gives me a minute to talk about the things that I realized and or happened while we were doing this. So yeah, I think we're going to get the town hall and the stone house built. I've run out of, too much to say about things. If a trader doesn't come, I might build this stone house kind of right away after that. Might as well. Yeah, then we have those storage barns. Yeah, so I'm just going to throw this guy onto our pile of things to be built because I definitely want to keep the population growing, probably a little bit more than it has been. Which is the toughest thing about this game, especially in the hard mode, besides getting the food going, is just sort of making sure you grow your population at a good amount. Yep, no trader. Okay, well let's come back in a while when either a trader comes or you know, or the town hall's built, or a little bit of both. Sound fair enough? All right, we'll talk to you guys in a few minutes. Okay, we have built our town hall, and I closed the window, but I also wanted to point out we're building this house. Another worker has died. Yeah, we're not... People are dying pretty normally. People are being born pretty normally. So I wanted to take a look before the episode ends, not maybe right this second, to see how we're doing. So good. The storage barn over here is now built. That should help them be more efficient in this area in general. And as we build more farms and whatnot, it's not going to hurt to have that close. I know my layout is not 100% efficient, but I just have fun with it. I've built things more efficiently, but I don't know. Sometimes in my own life, if I get too tied up with an efficiency, I don't have as much fun. There we go. So I'm curious with this stone. Yeah, we just have one person moving in. So the problem that I think we have now is I'm building more houses, and we definitely want to encourage that. Now the problem is, let's see, we can zoom in this way, right? Why would our blacksmith move in here? So I have a feeling that this person will move around again when the move around thing ticks, so to speak. Like, I mean, it's terribly inefficient for our blacksmith who's up here to be working down there. It's probably because they were a laborer at that point. They weren't actually working as a blacksmith, so hopefully that changes. But I think we actually have enough houses. And like I said, before it's over, I want to go through with you guys and click on each house, but our trader should be getting around the corner here. Yep, there he comes. Yep, now he's more appropriately dressed for the season. He's kind of a skinny dude for all the rowing he does, but anyway, we won't criticize him too much. Now this could be our cattle guy, which would be nice. I'd like to get the cattle going. And what else do we have? Did we get any walnuts? Oh yeah, look, we yield. Do we actually have walnuts? Well, it's growing. Like the walnuts themselves are going to be on the trees. Good, 21% yield, wonderful. So we should get some walnuts. It's late spring. We're still doing cabbages. Our food is holding up. It goes up and down quite a bit, but that's sort of to be expected. I'm not too worried about the food at this moment, which is a great thing in life, in banished life. But it is, you know what, I haven't seen it get down below. Well, we got a new house. Every time you get a new house, they're going to go grab a bunch of stuff. So that's something to be considered. Let's see how we do. Okay, let's pause it and come into here and hope for something good. Iron tools and pumpkins. Now, he's an interesting trader that he would sell iron tools. Not purchase. Orders. Oh, look, we can get seeds. Yeah, I think it's worth it. What do we like? Do we want apple cider? Apple cider was at one point in America apparently like the most popular alcoholic beverage, and I forget, there was some reason that it stopped being the most popular. Obviously beer, I think, has kind of taken over along with other liquors and wine, but yeah, apple cider was a very popular thing. Pear, I don't know. Pear liquor, I mean, I've heard of it. I don't know that I've had it much in my life. Plum liquor can be awful good. I've had that before. But yeah, we definitely want to go for some. Now, the other thing is wheat. Can we get wheat? Yeah, wheat seeds. You know what? Let's go for wheat seeds because it's food and it's also... And I know it would cost us more to purchase it through this guy, but I kind of really want to get it going. And after we get the ability to do alcohol and we have cattle, I don't think we'll order too much as far as seeds ever go, because I think, we'll be okay with those things. So, yeah, let's do that. And as far as actually trading with this guy, nah, we don't want iron tools. I mean, there's no money in the game, so there's no sense in selling him stuff at this point. So let's go ahead and dismiss this and close it and start playing. Good. Okay, well, we've ordered more stuff. I mean, it's not exactly an ideal situation, but let's go ahead and take a look at our town hall. And here's the kind of thing that I like to, that this is, I don't know if you guys have played the game. If you haven't, this Townhall is very useful. This is a question, and I was looking at this. I did have the screen open for a minute, like trade items, tells you what you have and what you don't. Acquired siege, you can get them all. It tells you the number of nomads, and let's just sort of shift subjects here. Speaking of shifting subjects, we need more stone. I don't want to build that stone quarry. There's a little bit of stone right here. Let's go get any stone that's... This will probably be... Yes, yeah, there's a bunch of stone here. Let's have them go get that stone, and then we're going to probably have to fire up our quarry or build bridges. See that those stones are under there. We have a little bit way up here. You know what? We just signed enough stone. But anyway, the reason I thought of the stone, and the next thought in line with that, is to get a boarding house, which takes, some more stone. And the boarding house is awful nice because we could get immigrants in. Where would we want to build the boarding house? I mean, it should be, people will potentially live here. We could just build it like right behind. Yeah, we're not going to have a lot of industry over here. Yeah, we can't go one closer. Yeah, it looks like it would fit in here quite nicely. Let's pause it. Again, it's not something that we're necessarily going to build this second, but while we're thinking about it, we'll get that planned. Yeah, let's put a little road in front of it. They can build the road whenever they want. There we go. So, let's go take a look at our overview. So this is really, I don't know, it's not particularly that useful compared to what you can see here and what you can see with your professions. But I guess if you want to see it in this format, have at it, right? I guess we could probably leave the town hall open and, I don't know, not have those other two screens open. I normally just leave those open. Production. This is definitely a useful thing, in particular when it comes to your food. So in other words, our current production was 1,500 and our used was 1,400. Now you can do like a 2-year thing to give you a better idea. Used in 2 years was 800 or 8,700, let's call it, and we only produced 8,400. So in some ways it's more beneficial to look at that because this is like this year, the current year, and this is last year. So we definitely used more than we produced, but we also have the ability to produce more. So, we want to, like this year, we're kind of close. Like, in other words, we might not have produced so much because we were over 5,000. Now, the other thing we could probably consider is raising the limit, and that's another thing that's nice about this screen is that you can do those things without too much consternation. So why don't we take our food up to 6,000 since we do have more people. That's quite a bit of food. But then we're less likely to hit the limit, and then we'll know as we go through another year that we didn't limit ourselves, and we'll get you don't want to limit yourself and then say, look, you didn't produce that much. We may not have produced that much because we were at the limit for a proportion of the year, if that makes sense. Now, another thing to keep in mind, too, is as we get these sheep farms going, we'll get a little bit more food from them. But right now we're just getting wool from them. And that's the other reason to eventually get cattle going. And I point at that because it's probably where we'll move the cattle into. Though by the time we do that, we really need to consider where we'd put a second cattle pasture. But let's get the cattle purchased first and get them into the one before we can even split the herd. So now, this is one of my favorite screens, is our inventory screen over here in our town hall. Just because you can really see the things that don't show up particularly well over here in a summary will show up better. So if you want to see the exact number of iron tools you have, or hide coats versus, warm coats, and in addition to that, like if it comes to like what we want to move into the trader over here, we could take a look and say, boy, well, we have a lot of fish. Now I don't want to because we're not really at our food limit, but we have quite a few fish, and that gives you a better idea of what people are eating. If you do have iron tools and other tools, it gives you an idea of that. So it's really just a nice screen. wool. We got plenty of wool, and we don't have enough leather, or we have plenty of leather. So, but it gives you an idea of, like, if you're having problems making warm coats, exactly how much of this is wool. I think you guys get the idea. And then graphs. The graphs are nice, especially if you put them on, like, let's just say 5-year, or we can even do 10-year. And, it just shows you, like, look how our population in the last 10 years, we're 18 years into the game, so let's go to 25 years. So there's our initial population, grow, then we hit the die-off, and now we've been stagnating. There's not too much we can do, but that's, this is a great way to see exactly where your population is sitting. And you can also change it to, food. How are we doing with food? You get many things, and this is really pretty helpful. Textiles, up. So again, I'm not sure exactly what's in the clothing. There we go, plenty of clothing. I'm not sure that, I don't know, firewood. I guess that's where we upped it to 1,000. I'm not sure how useful a lot of these things are, but hey, it's there for you if you do want to see. Citizens, we have, I would say, yeah, exactly, clothed. The happiness dropped off a little bit at one point. We were up there pretty high, and then our happiness dropped down. And hopefully it's going back up, which is one of the reasons to get the alcohol going, is hopefully we can get the happiness back up to 100%. You can see it's sort of recovered from the die-off. This is where the die-off is. If we switch this back, it's a little hard to see, but this is what? If this is 25 years, this is in the neighborhood of, 8 years ago? And then let's switch here. See how that's where our die-off started. So again, without this, it's hard to tell all that stuff. And eventually we can accept nomads, which is, when there is the possibility, we can accept them. But we definitely should build our, where do we build it? We should definitely build our boarding house first, unless you have a lot of extra housing, or else you end up with a bunch of homeless people. Let's do something real quick as we end the episode here. And let's just take a look. See this gatherer, I just want to go around and click on each of the houses and look. So yeah, we definitely could, if this guy wasn't blocking this house, well, these are 2 females, and we need a male and female. There's another female. Sometimes you just get unlucky with your population. Where are some more houses? There we go. We got old people that are going to die off in this house. There's a nice young breeding couple. And another single person, which, it'd be nice if you could move them in. There's a single woman living. Yeah, so we're really not using, these are older people, so they're not going to have any more kids. Taylor. Yeah, that's, they're a nice breeding couple, so we really don't have, for all the houses that we have, we got a couple more over here, I think. Yeah, there's another breeding couple. Did we look at these? All older, a little bit older. There's a breeding couple that's already had a few kids. Yeah, so the problem is those people die off or move out. It's we don't want to get this too fast, but remember, I want to keep it at 1/3, and we're kind of under 1/3 at this point, and I feel like our food's in good enough shape that what I would like to do is get this house being built. But I like to check that, right? Because if you had a whole bunch of, like, it makes a big difference to understanding, like, you need to understand the demographics, the details of the population to know, okay, how many breeding couples? I didn't count exactly, but we got about 4 or 5. And that'll give you an idea. Now, there's, sort of a maximum number of people you're going to fit in each house. But you sort of want to know that you have a lot of older people that are going to be dying shortly. And then the single people could relocate and move in with other people at certain points, and things like that happen. So let's go ahead and do that. I think we have enough stuff for that. And I think we have enough stuff. Yeah, the stone house is being built. That's going to be a little bit expensive on our stone, but let's go ahead and get this storage barn started for in between the episodes. So we'll have these 2 things going to start the next episode. Did we get, oh, look, we might start getting, some mutton from them at some point. Now, do all the food stuff show up? That's another thing that's, where is our production? Yeah, no, we can't really see it there. Inventory, no, not until we actually get some of it, I think. Something else came in there. Mutton, there it is. So we may get some mutton. Right now we have 0. Now do we have 0 because it's, I'm not sure, I forget whether it's counting. Yeah, there we go. So it's counting it as 0 because we don't have it in a storage yet, which is all the more reason to build this storage area that we just built. So there we go. So now because we've maxed out that sheep population, they'll start killing off the extras, and that'll be an excellent thing. That'll increase our food pretty dramatically. Look, it's up to 5,000. Not dramatically, but it's just another source of food for no more labor. I mean, we're just doing the same. Now this farm is not, yeah, they're not reproducing quite as quickly over here, but then it could be because the worker has that much further to go, or who knows where the builder, blacksmith, herdsman. Yeah, there's another herdsman here, so they're not living too far away, which is good. Did you notice our blacksmith is now here? So who moved in? Is this still just a single person down here, or? Yeah, see, they're now a gatherer. So they switch jobs or they relocate, whatever they do, based on where they live. But we'll get this other house built down here so that we get a little more efficient. And, you know, we're just going to have to grow our population. It is, if we come back over, this, and this is another nice thing just for YouTube, right? We can come over to here and say, oops, not there, graphs, you know, population graph. You know, you can kind of get an idea of, you know, this is adults. There's our rise in children, and I like to keep that at about a third. So, third of the adults, that is. So here's our adults at 30. You know, you want to keep this number between the two of them. If you added them together, and this gives you an idea. See how we've had a little bit of an up and down? I'd like to get that to increase here. So that's why we're building these couple almost extra houses, and we may build some more houses in the next episode, but there's my thinking on it all. Do we have another trader by any chance? Let's go check before we end, so we'll wait. No. So I'll probably come back in the next episode, you know, when we have a trader, I would think. I don't know what else exciting things. Did we get some walnuts in? Yeah, we got some walnuts. So we probably could consider, we do have a worker here that we might as well keep him a little bit busy. Can we get some walnuts? Yeah, I don't want our food to go over. I know I could type the number in. Let's put 400 of the walnuts in here. And by the way, this is where, you know, we get the trading post open, get this open for inventory, and then you can see real nicely what's going on. So that's why I went ahead and built that, even though you could argue it's not the most necessary thing. But then getting those nomads in can make a big population difference, especially in the case like now where we're really kind of ready for more people. So hopefully we'll get a notice sometime soon if we look in here that there are nomads ready to come. So it's good. So I'm pretty excited. We have a working town hall. That's a monumentous step in some ways. Let's see, how much firewood do we have? We don't have much wood. That's all right. We'll just go up 100. Like, what else do we have? A lot of venison. Yeah, we definitely use somebody to buy some venison from us. Nobody's really come to buy it. But then again, venison, the food doesn't ever go bad. So let's take that up to like 1,500. So we'll get a little bit of the venison out of there. And again, I don't mind ever having extra food at that point. Anything else? Firewood we just did. Cabbages would be fine. Walnuts. You know, I'm going to take that back down a little bit. Yeah, 300. Well, I don't know how many walnuts people want to eat. Fish is awful high, but I guess we could take a few fish. Let's take that up to 400. There we go. So we'll have plenty of food in storage, and that's a good thing. So we're really in excellent shape here in Revingham. We are on our way to becoming a fine and great city. So expect me to come back when we either have a trader or I have another list of things to discuss with you guys. But we are making some fine progress here in our, I think we could call this a town. It's kind of spread out, houses all over the place, but we will be filling in some of the gaps with various things, and eventually we'll need things like, we won't be able to produce enough things with just one blacksmith, and we'll start moving some people. We don't have a ton of extras at this point, but soon we'll be able to, or have to, I think, start moving some people into our quarry to get some quarried stone going so that we can keep all of our wonderful construction projects moving forward. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Take care of yourselves. Let me know if you have any comments or suggestions. I definitely appreciate them. I'd like to hear from you guys, even if you just want to say hello. So, again, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves and have a good day. Bye-bye.